Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Cygnus BM. This board features Mervin's hybrid C2 directional camber profile, more lift in the front, camber underfoot, reverse camber between the feet, and then camber under the back foot. So what you're going to get is two independent camber zones. That's where your load, pop, snap, and drive is going to come from. That reverse between the feet is going to help with the torsional give. And then that rise in the nose is going to help with powder float as well as ease of entry in and out of turns. This board's available in 154, 157, and 161. I rode this board at Arapahoe Basin on a day that was mostly bluebird with a lot of dust on some of the worst crust you could ever imagine. You had chopped chunder ice, pockets of wind-loaded snow, crust, more crust, and on top of that crust was crust that was crusty. Then I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. This has a slightly directional middle of the road flex. That means slightly softer nose, progressively stiffening up to the tail and not by much. The torsional flex is very abundant, but also very responsive. So when you twist it, you engage it, you're playing around with it, it's very quick to respond back to getting into its original shape. When it comes to stability, this board gets a lot of chatter. You're gonna feel it in the nose and it's gonna resonate back underfoot. It's a very lively board. You get into rutted out terrain, you might wanna keep your knees bent because you're probably gonna get bucked around, you might eat shit and die. Don't eat shit and die. No one likes it when you eat shit and die. And when you're on a groomer and you're just hauling ass at speed, you can feel everything resonate back up under those camber zones. And if you get a little more in the back seat, basically everything slams right into that camber zone and you feel it under your back foot the most. So like I said, it's a lively board, moderately stable, maybe a little bit below moderately stable. You're gonna feel a lot of chatter and vibrations with it. This board takes a little bit to get used to how you engage the load of it and how it will rebound. Took a few laps of really just pushing into those camber zones, rolling back on the tail to get it to snap. What I discovered was speed. You just need to be hauling ass to get this to engage, and you have to aggressively load it up, then roll back on the tail. You can't do a last minute load with it. You've got to be calculated. You've got to know that you have engaged it. And if you're trying to do it at slow speeds, it just sucks. It plainly sucks. It is absolutely horrible. All right, I don't know where we are in this review, but why haven't you clicked like? Why haven't you subscribed? Why haven't you clicked the bell to get those notifications? You know you want to. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for you. It's a C2 camber profile, so you have that reverse between the feet, then camber underfoot. This helps with its ability to be pressed. You can play around with it. You can disengage the front foot, engage the back, and it'll lift a little. Same thing with the front. You engage it, lift it with the back, you're up in there. What you need to know though is it languishes when you go to engage a butter on the nose or the tail. It's like you go to push into it and it's sort of like, and now we're pressing. So with that being said, you basically kind of want to subdue your press into it because you're going to be like, oh, it's going to be slow to engage, I should put more pressure into it. Don't. If you do, it will fold on you, it will buckle. You want to just sort of be a little more subdued, put that weight out on the tail, put that weight out on the nose, but don't press into it as hard and let that C2 profile work for you. When you do that, it'll be fine. If you don't, heed my warning. The magnet traction on this board is aggressive, especially between the feet, and that's going to add to how this ankle steers and how it actually grips. So short, tight, quick carves, it's steering completely underfoot. It's all those ankle movements, and that kind of translates over into medium carves as well. You're basically just ankle steering the whole board, and it's going to be locked in. When you get up to speed and you're really trying to lay it over, that's when it just grips aggressively and it's going to hold. This board is going to cut through everything in its path and lay a trench. You're gonna feel so locked in with this, you're gonna be like, am I gonna be able to disengage? And at the last minute, it will as you transition from your toe to your heel or your heel to your toe. You have to be aware of that. This isn't something when you're gonna be laid back and be like, oh, I'm laid back, I'm just cruising, it's fine. No, when you're laid back, it's still gripping right between the feet. It is going to just hold you in place. It is going to tell you, no, 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 no. Yes, you are ankle steering, but I am in charge. I'm the captain now. You're not the captain. The board is the captain. Rider in mind. So who is this board for? Oral surgeons. You know, the people that like to brag about how expensive their board is regardless of how much they actually suck. You know who you are. You're the one watching this review going, yeah, I'm gonna buy this. Little do you know, Ted's buying a Project X from Jones. Yeah, that's going down. Big old dick swinging contest. That's who rides this board. All right, if you like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. This board is underwhelming for the price tag. Like, it's a snowboard, does snowboard things, but for the price tag, it should have a structure in the base. My Ride Shadow Band that hasn't been waxed in 2 years has more structure and is faster than this thing. It's kind of sad that something this expensive, which has cool tech, I'm not denying that it has cool technology in it, is mediocre at best. It's underwhelming. Like, I've ridden better boards for half the price, quarter of the price of this, that were so much better performing. The only thing that's really unique that stood out was how aggressive it grips underfoot. Like, that was it. Otherwise, this board is just sort of, it's there. Comparable boards. The Niche Story, the Capita Megadeth, the Jones Flagship Pro. Binding recommendations. The Bent Metal Transfer, the Rome Cleaver, the Yes Drive. This has been my review of the LibTech Cygnus BM. If you've been underwhelmed by this review, maybe you should go watch one of the comparable boards. We have an extensive library of videos you should be checking out. So go watch something. You know you want to.